Welcome back, guys. So today's topic is building balance scorecard and strategy map, along with for the same balance scorecard, developing what an HR scorecard and HR metric. Sounds interesting, guys? Huh? Scorecard, huh? A report card, a measurement tool. Okay. So quickly going back to so this is what you're going to really learn today, all about how do you build the balance scorecard, the strategic map, then how will you then derive the HR scorecard from there, and then how will you build in the metrics. If you recall yesterday in our first session, we talked a lot about what is HR analytics, all about what quantification of data, right? Quantification of data, analyzing data, uh, getting it from all the performance drivers, like all the HR processes, and then making informed decisions which will impact business outcomes, right? This is what we thought about. Like, say, for example, if I'm pulling out a lot of data on recruitment process, right from sourcing channel to screening, selection, interviewing, joining to offer, acceptance, etc. Then from there, then hey, have I reduced cost, or have I improved the process, or have I delivered the higher on time? What was the TAT, etc. Okay, and then making an informed decisions about them, and then seeing what is the impact on the business outcomes. Now, some of you actually asked, but then, okay, but how do we know what is critical? How do we know where to start? Now that I learn all the metrics and all, I have all the data, should I be doing everything? Here comes that important question of how do I make a choice? So, when you need to make a choice, what is very, very important? You need to know, like, as of yesterday, I was talking about, are we service providers like the pizza shop, that the business comes and asks us for something and we are just supporting? We have, we are now, we have evolved from the industrial era to the information era. We are now more in a strategic role. So therefore, if we want a seat at the um, corner room, or if we want to be strategic partners, just like the marketing function, the finance function, or for that matter, the manufacturing function, now we have to showcase, or we have to align the impact with business. So how will I showcase, or how will I show what I do impacts business? By aligning what I do with the business. So what am I using a word called? Alignment. Alignment. What is alignment? That means, is there a linkage? Is there a connect between what I do with the business goals? Because ultimately business exists to do what? Huh? To achieve its goals. Business does not exist because you have to hire some people, or you have to send some people for training. You're hiring people, you're sending them for training, you are measuring their performance in order that the business actually achieves its results. Okay, that's very clear. So where is the connect? How do I HR analytics connect with the business outcomes? It is through a measuring management tool, which is called balance scorecard. Are you with me, guys? The importance of this. Why are we doing balance scorecard? That means through this tool, I actually align what I'm doing with the business so that I can track my HR metrics. Like Meghna was saying that, ma'am, I want to validate whether I'm actually tracking the right metrics, or whether I'm doing, what is actually impactful for the business. So how do you know? By aligning. by using the balance scorecard and cascading it down to HR scorecard and HR metric, you will be able to what? Link, connect, or cause a linkage with your business. Are you with me, guys? Is this very, very clear how important this tool is? Just show me a thumbs up, guys. How important the tool is. Okay. Now, what is a balance scorecard? It looks like this. Or I can show you another. You know, let us first just get an understanding, because I'm assuming that most of you may be hearing it for the first time, or some of you must have heard. Like, for example, I know somebody is already tracking, but most of the organizations feel that it's very complex, but actually it is not complex. It is very simple. Okay. Just give me a thumbs up. Anybody who's familiar with the balance scorecard, just give me a thumbs up. That's fine. Anybody? Okay, done. Now, I want some people to be on the video if possible, so that I know exactly, yeah. Anil says that you're familiar with balance scorecard, Anil? Okay. Avinash, are you familiar with balance scorecard? Just to get a feeling so that I can go deeper down then. Huh? Avinash, are you familiar?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. But
Okay,
not a
okay, good.
measurement. I know the balance scorecard, what it is, and why we are just implementing and the like management or
Okay.
company.
Okay. All right. So today we are not going to learn entirely in detail about balance scorecard to that extent, because balance scorecard essentially is used for performance management. So we're not going to track to that extent, but so that we are able to understand and create a linkage with the HR analytics. Okay. Having said that, so let me just, so this is how it looks, visually. Balanced, please mark these words, balanced scorecard. What if you do? So when I say scorecard, that means it is a report card. It's a measuring tool. Okay. Now it has very important step one. It has four perspectives, we call them. What are they? Perspectives. Very, very clear. Financial perspective. All right. Customer perspective, internal business perspective, and learning and growth perspective. This framework has four perspectives. Now, who invented this balance scorecard? These Harvard professors, Kaplan and David Norton. These were two guys who actually um, invented this balanced scorecard. Now, to give you a little context, traditionally, organizations were measuring organizations mostly by what? When I say, hey, how is that organization doing? Typically, I will actually talk from the financial perspective, right? Hey, they are doing great. They're having 500 crores profit. Their revenue is 5,000 crores. So we talk in what? Financial terms, right? So traditionally, we were talking only in financial terms. But when I said traditionally, what was that age? Mostly industrial age. Okay. At that point of time, it, investing in large, there were only manufacturing organizations. There was not much of market dynamics was not there. Okay. And the the organizations didn't have to they were only looking at the machine material, money, as key assets. The human capital was not looked at as an important asset at all. So the financial mattered most. But thereafter, as you came to this information era, and in an information era, what becomes a very key critical asset? All of you know. But irrespective of whether you are in a software organization or a service organization or a manufacturing organization, what is your key asset? One of the critical assets these days. which gives you what? For scope for innovation, creativity. What is that? Human capital.
Human capital.
Human capital. So, what did they say in the balance scorecard? They said, yes, traditionally we were looking at financial, but there are other perspectives as well. If your organization has to achieve its business goals. So, they came up with the other three perspectives along with the financial. What is that? They said customer perspective. They said internal business processes perspective. I'll just a minute and I'll explain everything, guys. Learning and growth perspective. Now, when we look at these four perspectives, what does success look like in finances? Still, we will measure it by what? Quickly, can I write here? Hmm. How will you? Yeah. How will you measure success from the financial perspective? Guys, I want some answers here.
Profits.
Huh?
Profits.
Yes. Profits, revenue, EBITDA, right? All these
Yeah.
things, all numbers. How will you measure success from the customer perspective?
Customer satisfaction
Customer
layer, like
satisfaction, yes.
rating, or
You will say number of customers, market share, right? Huh? Old customers, new customers. So everything about the customer retention, all that, whether it's a manufacturing organization or whether it's a service sector, whether it's a retail sector, you will have that.
Yeah.
When you talk about internal business processes, it's all to do with what? Processes. So, how will success look like when I'm talking about processes? For example, a manufacturing organization, quality, efficiency, huh? So, obviously, we will look at product defect ratios, etc., etc. Right? Everything about processes. Huh? Then, when we talk about learning and growth, we are talking about what? The human capital, the culture of the
Ability of
organization.
human capital.
We are talking about information and technology, etc. Now, when we say balanced scorecard, now all the four perspectives are balanced. It is a balance. Balancing in the sense, financial and customer perspectives are called lead indicators. What are they called?
Lead.
Lead indicators.
I'm so sorry. I'm suddenly financial and customer perspective are called lag indicators. They're called lag indicators. Anybody who can tell me what is I will actually go to the. What is lag? When you use a word lag, what do you understand by it? Huh?
So these numbers or these factors come up after some time.
Yeah.
So we can see this
Financial.
as an outcome of
Huh.
something, some activities or some actions.
So the financial and the customer perspective outcomes, both of them are called lag indicators because they're outcomes. They are outcomes. They are end results. So they happen after there are activities which are done to them. Is that very clear? Huh? Like, your revenue or your market share, all this happens only when there are certain things which are done to them. They happen afterwards. They are called outcomes or end results. While business
Internal.
processes, internal
They are the lead indicators.
business
Was
processes and L&D,
Mm.
learning and growth. And we also add actually technology. What are they called? Somebody who's also already, these are called
lead.
lead indicators. That means they are predictive.
Yeah.
I'll just help you with this. They're sorry. We are curiosity. Huh, it's okay. They're predictive. They're also called performance indicators. Okay? Performance indicators. Now, the balance scorecard is such a beautiful scorecard which helps you. Now, you cannot achieve the financial outcome or the customer outcome without working
If this
on
is achieved.
learning and growth perspective or the internal business process perspective. Okay. What does it say? That, hey, when you are building your human capital, when you are upgrading your skills, when you are hiring the right kind of talent, when you are actually having across the organization the right kind of culture, then you are able to drive those internal processes, which could be to production, to marketing, to warehousing, to quality, everything, which in turn will make good products and services which are liked by the customer. Okay, which delivers customer satisfaction or customer delight, and which results in customer retention, increasing your market share. So when all this happens, what happens then? Automatically your revenue goes up, your profit will go up. Are you getting me, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now when we talk about this balance scorecard, so how does it work in an organization? Okay. And what does it got to do with my HR analytics, and how will I derive HR? So A, balance scorecard doesn't happen in the air. Okay. Now, so I just spoke about what is a balance scorecard. Now, to build a balance scorecard, you have to understand the value, vision, and the mission of the organization. Okay, you have to understand the what mission, vision, and the values of the organization. Mission is what typically, I'm sure everybody understands. That means, hey, why are we existing, right? Some of the mission statements can look like, mission statements, inspiring change, long term in nature. So they can, so if you can see, Sony mission statement, to experience the joy of advancing and applying technology for the benefit of the public. Walmart, to give ordinary folk the chance to buy the same things as rich people. 3M, to solve unsolved problems innovatively. Okay, can you tell, any of you, can you tell me one of your mission statements? Any of you, if you can recall your organization's mission statement? Anybody? I was reading Gera's mission statement, but I'm not able to recall now. Huh?
The is to be the most preferred choice of developer from the employee as well as
Something
customer
interesting,
perspective.
and I was, because yeah, so it was interesting. So now I'm not able to recall. Anybody else? Okay. So why we exist? Okay. What are values? Values are the culture. They help you the way we do things here, and they are those guiding principles, moral, ethical, by which we do things, by which we work here. And what is vision? Vision is, where do you want to go in the future? Vision. Anybody who remembers any vision statement of any organization or your organization? Anybody? Let me give you. So TCS says, TCS vision statement will be recognized and respected as professional, innovative, profitable information and knowledge-based logistics services enterprises. Okay. So, but Dell says our core business strategy is built around our direct customer model, relevant technologies, solutions, highly efficient. So the vision statement actually helps you to build what? To build a strategy. If you can see here a visual picture of it, the vision statement helps you to build the strategy. Now, what is very, very important for building a balanced scorecard? You have to have a strategy. That means, hey, what is that we will be doing? What is our strategy in order to what? Deliver the products and services which will delight our customer. So once we have built the strategy and we know the strategy, then from strategy, then I actually build a balanced scorecard. Okay. Now I'll just show you. When we're talking about strategy, I want to introduce another very interesting. It will help you to. Yeah. So when we are building a strategy, there is another concept called value discipline. Okay. So when you're having a business strategy, it is also dependent on, hey, what is the kind of a value discipline I have? So you will be wondering, what is this value discipline? So this has also been developed by these two people, Tracy and Beer Sima. Now, what is value discipline? That means I, as an organization, I take a position saying that, hey, am I a product leadership company? Am I an operational excellence company? Or am I a customer intimate company? Now, we may ask, for example, let me give you some examples. When you go to Starbucks, what does what does the guy do? How does it treat? I mean, when you ask for some coffee, anybody who, I'm sure all of you have gone to Starbucks many a times, right? Tell me, what is your experience? Anybody who can share the experience?
I didn't win, ma'am, so I cannot.
Huh? Okay. So they will ask you, okay, what flavor, ma'am? They want to know your preferences. Should I make it like this? Should I do it this way? So they take time to understand you. It's not that you go to, what is it, McDonald, and then they say the quickly, you just have to look up and then tell, and then immediately he will just push the button and tell you, oh, this is the amount you have to pay, and etc. Right? It takes time. He tries to create some customer intimacy as well. He tries to understand you, and so that he can create customer delight. So you sit there, you enjoy the coffee, you don't mind paying 200 to 300 bucks for that coffee, right? Which you can get it for 10 or 15 rupees elsewhere. What do you say? So is it so you are enjoying the entire thing, right? So what does that mean? They are looking at what? Customer intimacy,
Ma'am.
customer delight. Are you with me?
Yes, ma'am.
So they are positioning themselves. Now, look at Apple. If you know, there are people who will only buy Apple. But does the Apple phone come only today? I had to pick up another new phone. How does it come cheap? Does it come cheap? No.
No.
So every 2 years, 3 years, they keep on having milestones in terms of new features, new, Apple 12, Apple 13, Apple 14. And when you ask for a part of Apple 12 or Apple, it will be outdated. It will not be there. Can you find that? No. And even in fact, a lot of apps will not be, in sync with the outdated phone. So what does it mean? Where are they positioned? You tell me. Google. So in this value discipline, where would they be? Tell me. Anybody? Hey guys.
Product leadership.
Product leadership. Can you name any other companies who are at a product leadership?
Dell.
Google.
Dell.
Yeah, Dell is
Xerox.
also product, but they're more of customer intimacy. You Dell will say, hey,
HCL.
come to my website. You have the option of choosing and making your own. You get me? Right?
HCL is there.
So, pardon?
HCL, ma'am.
SCL.
Yeah.
It is not exactly a product leadership. Okay, now I'll come to that last one. So companies like Google, Microsoft, and when you are a product leader, What is the key competency you are looking at across the organization? Innovation,
Innovation.
creativity. You
Right.
agree?
Right.
Yes
Right.
or no? And if you are a customer intimate company, what are you looking at when you hire talent across the organization? Huh? Customer service orientation. No? Is this person having customer, service orientation, right? So if a person is not having that kind of a trait, huh, then hiring him, he'll be so rude to the customers. Now, if you go and order a pizza in McDonald's, how much time does it take?
10,
10 to
10
15
minutes or so.
minutes.
Yeah.
Just a max for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Have you seen? You can't sit for long also and keep eating because that guy will keep coming, and so you can't keep sitting like the way you sit in a Starbucks. Go take your laptop and sit there for 4 hours or 5 hours. Right? Why? Because for them,
Time.
operating procedures are important, operational efficiencies are so important, productivity indexes are so important. So, what are they driving? They are driving operational excellence. Got it? So, Walmart, again, operational excellence. SCL, service organization, more in terms of operational excellence. Most of the BPO organizations, their business model more into operational excellence. Okay. So the metrics, the competencies required for product leadership will be different, and for operational excellence will be different. Operational excellence organizations look for people who can work hard, okay, and who also are more focused in terms of productivity. Now, in terms of salary, operational excellence people cannot pay higher salary. At least 50 to 60% of their population will get only at a little above the median salary. They will not give them high salaries. But whereas product leadership, I don't want, I cannot have average people trying to be innovative and creative and coming up with new products. So when you're looking at product leadership, you have to pay high salaries because your talent, you cannot get good talent if you pay only what? If you pay peanuts, right? Huh? And so likewise, even customer intimacy, the kind of salaries people will have to pay at a higher than the operational excellence. So all these three disciplines, they are business models. So depending on which value discipline you are, all your HR metrics, HR processes will vary. Are you with me, guys? Are you with
Mm.
me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, are you understanding how important is value discipline? You can also think about what value discipline is your organization. Okay. Now, this becomes the center point for building a what I call it as your balance scorecard. Now, since I don't want to run through a lot of this theory, okay. Now, so all of you will have to create a map. Read the strategic map first. First, let me try and help you with the balance scorecard. Then I will talk about a strategic map. Now, so according to this, if you can, I will put the. Now, is it very clear? Huh? Is it clear? Yeah. Okay. Now, this strategic map is typically for a retail store. So, can you see the four perspectives: financial, customer, internal,
Internal.
and learning and growth? Okay. These are the four perspectives. As I said, this is a measurement tool. Right. Now you have created your strategy, business strategy. And now this strategy has to be broken down and aligned into these four perspectives so that if strategy is kept as a strategy, it cannot become operational and tactical. So, how do you make it operational, tactical, and ensure that it is drilled down to the last mile? It is through this business balance scorecard. Okay. So, first of all, you build a BSc Balance Scorecard at the company level. So when we talk about this now, so here, what is the customer value proposition, customer perspective? So I have to define what is my customer value proposition. What do I mean by customer value proposition? Means what is that I'm delivering to my customer? So customer value proposition, nothing but that value discipline. Am I at an operational excellence model? Am I doing product leadership? Or am I at a customer intimacy? And when I'm talking about the customer value proposition, what am I delivering to my customers through my products or through my services? Now, they will be attributes. Attributes like what? Price. They can be like quality. They can be availability. So, say for example, this is a retail store. Okay, price, quality of that product, retail stores. Okay, availability of that product, can I select, have I choice? Okay, then say for example in that retail store, just for example, there are huge a lot of these mobile operators. What kind of functionalities? How is the service? Is there a kind of a partnership there? What is the brand? So these are all attributes which one looks at when you are looking at a customer perspective. Okay, when you're looking at, so in order to deliver this, what do I need to have? I need to have what? Internal processes. Now, these processes could be from operational management, customer management, innovation processes, regulatory also, it could be production, marketing. So, all those functions in the organization. Okay. Now, in order to drive these processes, what do I need? Please.
Yeah.
Human capital. I need technologies. I need culture. Are you with me? So, if I have the right capital, human capital, and if I'm doing the right kind of a training, right kind of competencies, right kind of databases, technology, and right kind of culture, then I'm able to drive my processes in such a way that they are able to deliver the right kind of products and services to a customer, which in turn will give what? Profits, generate income. Is this clear? I just wanted to give you a very, very simple kind of a thing. Now, guys, I want you all, okay, you have to build a balance scorecard. Okay, not the strategic map. I'll tell you after that what the strategic map is. Now, you have to take if you are a group of 3 or 4, you can take one organization, anyone, because you'll be familiar with that organization. So you have to write down, if you remember, the vision, follow this template, the vision, the mission. Okay. Now, typically, what does the business, it wants growth. What does it have? Here, like for example, this organization, it's a mobile company. So it wants to be the number one mobile communication supplier of choice. Then the mission is to provide the best value for money mobile phone services. All right. And what are the business themes, strategic themes which have come out from the strategy? Growth, customer intimacy, and operational effectiveness. These are almost like strategic objectives. Now, what you need to do is you have to create a balance scorecard on the similar lines, writing financial, customer, internal process, organizational growth. And for financial, write the strategic objectives. Means, so typically, the strategic objective for financial perspective is always increasing revenue,
Renew.
increasing profitability.
Stability.
Typically, okay. Now, customer, depending on, are you in a manufacturing organization, or have you taken up retail? So depending on that, what is that? What is the offering you are looking at? So write those objectives. Now then, internal business processes, right? Whether you want to improve your process and quality, whatever you wanted, all the functions, okay? As explained earlier, write them. Then in terms of organizational learning and growth, write them your human capital, training, information, technology. Okay. So I want you to do just that right now, so that then I will come to measures and targets and initiative. I don't want to make it complex. So that you are able to at least just build a simple scorecard. Okay. But please do some thinking so that you are able to really build a good BSc. Great. Okay, guys, welcome back. So let me actually find out about your experience of making a basic balance scorecard. How did you feel? Yeah, excited?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah? It was something new, huh? And making
Yes,
all these
ma'am.
oval circles. All right. Okay. So now group two is going to present. Let me see what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So, ma'am, this is, my organization, GERA. And of course, we didn't get into the strategic items and
No
I mean the
problem.
strategic theme and the
So
results.
vision to be more.
Vision is
Yeah.
to
You
be
can.
the most preferred choice of developer. Basically, this is from the
All
customers
right.
as well as employee point of view.
Hmm.
And the mission currently is 10 million square feet development. And in order to
Okay.
achieve that, the financials that I mean, you want me to talk from, oh shit, yeah.
Yeah. So now
Um,
you can talk about, and so you start from the customer perspective, saying that
okay.
we want to deliver. You want to be the most preferred choice of developers.
Yes.
And what is your customer value proposition? Are you in product leadership? Are you customer intimacy? Or are you in
Customer
operational
intimacy.
excellence?
I will talk about customer intimacy
You
because,
are in customer intimacy.
yes,
Okay.
I mean, of course,
Right there
product.
in that customer perspective. I'll tell you why I did that. I will just write there. So your customer value
Okay,
proposition is customer intimacy. Okay.
you
That's your
want
value discipline. All
okay
right. Just write. No, write in that wherever in this block.
in this block.
Yeah. There. Hmm. You can just write your value discipline. Hmm. Customer intimacy. Okay. Hmm.
Okay. So, as part of our, customer perspective, uh, the main objective that we are wanting to deliver is customer experience, excellence and engagement. The products which are there, they are all, kind of, or, either having certain element of automation or certain apps are there in place to ensure that the service excellence wherein we are serving the customers is achieved and the engagement aspect is there. The child-centric homes concept that you talked about, there's a whole lot of engagement which has been
Mm-hmm.
revolving around that aspect. With
Mm-hmm.
every
Mm-hmm.
child-centric home, we are adding on one more academy to it. So the product enhancement is there. Okay. Timely possessions in terms of whenever we get the OC,
That means
the
timely
occupants,
delivery, huh?
timely delivery, yes. Okay.
Okay. Hmm.
And this all, in order to ensure that we are able to do this, the outcome of that, what we look forward to is the increase
So
in the number of.
can you just say that, so what you are delivering to your customer, huh?
Okay. Timely product
The
delivery, should I say?
so these are some of the attributes which you want to deliver to your
Yeah,
customer to ensure that there is customer delight, there is customer satisfaction in terms of
right, ma'am.
product, in terms of delivery, in terms of retaining, in terms of pricing. I mean,
Yeah,
so like for example, you have said custom built. So that means you are also saying you have say choice, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, features.
Customization is
So
there.
you are also saying features are there, huh?
Right, ma'am. Right.
Different
So,
different
like
features. Okay.
there are even benefits if the customer is doing the registration before 15 days, he gets a certain cashback. Those kind of
Okay.
benefits have been created already. And
Okay. So
in
in
order,
order to do this,
Hmm,
what is the kind of processes you need? You
yes,
getting me now? Huh?
yes, ma'am.
See, so in order to do this, so the balance scorecard says that it's like a four-legged table.
Yeah,
Okay. So now, but built on, so in order to deliver this to the customer, now you need to look at a perspective which is below. That is the
right.
internal perspective,
Internal perspective.
which is actually driving processes. It could be in terms of all. So typically, when I say internal business processes, it is all those functions which are actually giving you this product. Are you with me?
Products. Yes,
So you
ma'am.
have written, let me see, product technology, value engineering, great property app, product quality, approvals. You'll
And
have regulatory
approvals.
also. You'll have regulatory also, right?
Yeah,
Rega,
yeah.
mm,
Yes, ma'am.
regulatory. Then, so because you will have external stakeholders as well, right? So all those
Yeah,
things, right?
so all that has been
Now,
comprised into these approvals, which are your government related, environmental clearances and all that particular stuff. These are
absolutely,
regulatory
approvals,
ones.
clearances, etc.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So in order to have these processes in place, or in order to have, I mean, ensuring efficiency, operational efficiencies, right? You need to
right,
have the right kind of people, your human capital, no? Skill
right, ma'am.
sets, right? You'll need to
Yeah,
have right kind of leadership skills, right kind of competencies. Yes.
yes,
So
ma'am.
you are writing in terms of hiring, in terms of training, in terms of
Yes, ma'am.
all those entire employee life cycle processes. But
Right, ma'am.
anything which you want to highlight in in this sector, in this industry, from a learning and growth perspective, something which will actually create some kind of a competitive advantage for you with the other peer, your competitors.
Yeah, yeah,
Because why do you think you have a balanced scorecard? Because it says that the lag indicators by themselves will not give you that differentiation, that
right,
competitive advantage. It
right.
is the lead indicators, especially it
Yes.
starts right from the below. That is the learning and growth and the
Learning and growth.
technology, which helps you to differentiate, to give you that competitive advantage. Okay.
Right,
So the
right.
kind of culture, or it's kind of, so I'm just throwing something because for the next exercise, these will all be very important. Okay.
Okay,
But
okay, okay.
yeah, you guys have done a good work. I mean, typically what happens, this is a complex job, but in such a short span, even to understand and come up with something like this. Okay. So now we are going to work on this with the strategic map, with the HR scorecard, keeping the same data. So please keep
Okay.
this saved. All right.
Yes.
Keep
Yes.
this saved.
Yeah.
Now we will,
Okay.
good job. Please, you can
Thank you,
actually
ma'am.
give a good applause to yourself, to the entire group. Can we
Thank
have the other group now? Yeah.
As you said, ma'am, we just put only the objectives, right?
Objectives,
So
yes.
yeah,
But you
we
could have
didn't.
put more objectives, right? Huh? You could have
Uh,
thought of,
eh,
you're getting me? Huh?
yes, yes. So in terms of
Huh?
financial, we just get to know, like in any organization, somewhere the last motive of the organization is to, in terms of financial, maximize the profit
First,
and
can I
increase
just
the revenue.
interrupt? Yeah, the financials is always there. Can you start with the customer and let me know whether what is your value discipline in terms of product leadership or
It's a
operational excellence or
organization excellence, ma'am. The
operational
operational
excellence? Huh?
excellence. Yes.
Operational excellence. Okay, operational excellence. Fine. So, when there is an operational excellence, that is, you are delivering products or services, okay, there is a huge focus on what operational efficiency. That means in your internal businesses, quality department becomes really a focus. You agree?
Yes. Yes.
Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Standard operating procedures become, no? Huh? So, when you're writing internal business processes, all that you needed to do was put blocks of product. If you're taking a software company, you can have R&D, you can have quality control. What else you'll have? Development. You will have all the functions which are operating in your organization. Are you with me? Hey
That
guys,
is
yes or no?
goes to indicate the every vertical is finally giving to the final form of the like deliverance of anything. So if you
Yeah,
just
so
go for,
processes come from there.
okay,
Processes are, so typically the processes are internal business processes are from for every function, right? If you want to make a process improvement. So to which function does it belong? We have to look at it, no? quality is a function, quality processes, or R&D is a function, R&D processes. So you can just put, and if you have regulatory, you have to look at regulatory also. See, ultimately, if you want to deliver a product to the customer, so there are different processes from different functions which will try to create this product, right? Like, for example, I'm just giving you an example. Say, for example, in a manufacturing organization, say Toyota. Toyota is, it belongs to what? A value discipline of operational excellence. Okay? Where they believe in what? Quality, where they believe in terms of what? Operational efficiencies. So what happens? They are creating a, a product to the customer which satisfies in terms of both customer retention, customer loyalty, etc., etc. So what will they keep looking at? They will have production processes, they will have quality process, they will have what tools and dice process, they might be having a regulatory process as well. So you have to look at all the key processes which are pertaining to those functions. So likewise, when I'm actually defining a basic BSc, I have to write those things because the strategic objectives will also belong to those functions.
So
Are you
here
with
we will
me,
just
guys?
take a, yes, we here, ma'am. So
Yeah,
here
you
we
have
taken a
clubbed it
like,
together. It's okay. You have clubbed it together. I'll tell you why I asked you to do that. Because you have to create those ovals. Because now you will then draw a strategic map. I will explain to you what is a strategic map. So in order to draw that strategic map, we use, because strategic map is a visual representation. So now I'll help you to draw those what? The arrows which link what causes the effect. Because in a strategic map, we are establishing the cause and effect relationship. Okay. So that's how it's very, very balanced scorecard and strategic map. When we talk about a balanced scorecard and a strategic map, they are not in isolation, these perspectives. They create that cause and effect model. That means at every lower perspective, which causes and which achieves the objective of the higher perspective. Like I said, if you hire the right kind of people as required by the processes, then you are able to drive your processes efficiently. And if you are able to drive your processes efficiently, then you are able to deliver products and services to the customer according to his delight and satisfaction, without rejections, without delays, without, and if you do all this, then you will achieve revenue profit. Are you with me, guys? I'm not expecting you to do it right. I mean, but just understand it because it is a little complex, but it's not so complex. Okay. But have you understood the theme? Have you understood what it is?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Huh?
Cause
So
is a lead.
simple. You have to identify one or two objectives in all these perspectives. And as I said, they are not in isolation. Then you are creating a map which will actually help you what causes what, the cause and the effect relationship. And I will just show you to you in some time. Okay. Don't worry. Guys, you have done your best, but you have gone to the next level of putting measures and targets and initiative, which I'll help you, especially for your HR scorecard now. Okay, but nevertheless, I can't do something. I want to do recruitment. I want to do performance management. In fact, if I recall, 2 decades ago, the HR department actually acted like that in a silo. Oh, what are you do? What do you do? We do recruitment. What do you do? We do performance management. So we were only stuck in an activity, but we have to now establish a linkage by saying, hey, we do hiring and give hiring solutions, ensuring there is reduction of cost and thereby get best talent at least cost. When you do that, what is happening? The profit is going up, revenues are going up. You agree? Reducing your cost. I am actually upskilling my people by giving this training, because then they are able to better drive my processes. In turn, they are able to deliver better products. And therefore, it gives revenue. No?
Mm.
I hope it is cutting eyes, guys.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You will get to know more, a little more. See, we need to all HR people. That's one thing I will recommend all of you. Do some reading, and that there's so much of a reading material. You can't absorb everything at one time. Keep reading, because even if you are not doing it in your organization, but you have to stay current. Will you agree with me or no?
True, ma'am.
Otherwise, you're thinking obsolete. So that when you are current, at least you'll bring in small changes in what you work, the way you do things. It need not be driven by the organization. My organization is conservative, would like to do things the way they are doing it for ages. They don't believe in a BSc. But at least you are able to understand, hey, what I do, how does it get related? How does it impact the business at large? Okay. And then when it impacts, then you'll feel excited, saying that, yes, why do you want to do a nutrition analysis, and why do you want to do something? Why? Because you are able to then predict through the analytics, saying that, hey, who are the people who are actually going to iterate? Can I do something as a proactive measure to ensure that my high performers are not going to iterate? You with me, guys? Does it make sense? Yeah? Okay. So we just what we did before we um, had a small break. We learned to design a balanced scorecard, which is very critical for an organization, because you can translate your business strategy into an action plan. Okay. Now, along with the balanced scorecard, I was talking about a strategy map. Now, what is a strategy map? If you can see visually, you can see certain arrows, and arrows, directing towards certain oval circles. Can you see that? Yeah? Yes?
Yeah.
Huh? So, what do they indicate? They indicate what I call it as the cause and effect. So, it's very important when you are creating a strategy map. It is not just sufficient to create these boxes, but it's very important also to create those arrows indicating what causes, which objective actually causes the effect in the higher perspective. For example, can you see that the human capital, you can see that there are arrows indicating into operational management processes, or into customer management processes, or into regulatory and social. That means if you have the required human capital, information capital, and the organization capital, which means the skill, knowledge, values, and the technology, and the culture and the leadership, then you are able to achieve what better, to drive the processes better, bring about operational efficiency. So you are creating an alignment. And how do you create an alignment? By actually drawing those arrows, saying that, hey, this is so. What happens typically when in organizations, when you're creating a strategy map, the team is sitting together and then doing a lot of brainstorming, and then saying, hey, does this actually create alignment with this? Does it achieve this? So you are also getting a consensus. So only when everybody agrees upon, yes, if we do this, it will actually achieve our processes efficiency or delivery, etc. Then they create that. It goes through a lot of iterations, and that's how they create the strategic map. Okay, so now I just want to show you a very interesting. So I said strategic maps, they are a visual graphic representation which create the cause and effect relationship, so that there's a linkage and then they are cascaded down. Okay. So if you just see this strategic map, can anyone explain to me what is happening? Can anyone explain to me? Take the lead. That's how you're going to learn. If you can actually see at a financial perspective, you want to reduce the cost, thereby increasing, because that arrow increasing profitability, and also you are increasing revenue. So this is the lag indicator. Now, so what is happening here? So what you are saying is, hey, if I actually increase my process efficiencies, I can lower cost. I can also, if I reduce my cycle time, if I can reduce, I can also then increase
All the time, waiting time.
decrease my waiting time, which will also give me customer retention. So let me show you an example of how many of you travel in an Indigo Airlines. How many of you travel in Indigo Airlines? I'm sure. Why do you like Indigo Airlines? The closest,
Time.
which will help you to understand, huh?
It's on time.
Give me
On
two
time, every time.
attributes. What does it give to the customer? You are customers, okay? And once an Indigo customer, you will prefer to travel in that. Why? What are the two things which will?
One
Compared
is
to
it's on
others,
time.
the
Yeah.
ticket rate is somewhere low.
Absolutely. On time. At least 95%, 99% is on time. Never, they don't get. Okay. Then cost,
Ticket
Yeah.
costs.
lower cost, right? Huh? Now, so you are delivering what? What is the proposition? Turnaround time. You have to specify, hey, how much time should the flight arrive and then depart. Right? The more the number of flights, the more the money, because passengers will be flying and you'll get more money. Now, in order to do that, in reducing the turnaround time, have you noticed in reality what happens in Indigo? The moment you go and check in, what do? The Indigo ground crew, they will start what? Ensuring that when there is a aircraft for departure, they will start lining up even before the aircraft has come. They will do the readiness, right?
Yeah.
And also, if you are a person who are actually flying, even before the flight lands, have you noticed flight in crew flight, they will start readying up, ensuring clearing everything. They'll say, please be ready, and cleaning also happens, trying to take away all the garbage. And as soon as it lands, then you have also the ground crew, which will try to do the maintenance quickly. So it's a teamwork, internal business processes. But in order to do this, what happens? You have to get training, right? You have to do all that training. So in order to ensure what you are promising to the customer, you have to do all that. And what happens if you are having many flights at a lower price? You are having more customers. If you have more customers, you are increasing your revenue. So if you are increasing the revenue, you are increasing the profitability. Are you now seeing a cause and effect relationship here? So when you do this, now I can't just say, okay, turnaround time. It is a strategic objective. So you have now said, these are my strategic objectives at an internal business process or at a customer. That means at a customer, attracting and retaining more. Now I need to have what? Certain objectives, measures, targets, because I want to track them. No? I want to make them what? Tactical. I want to make them operational. Otherwise, if you say, hey, in goal setting, you have to complete this project, but I'm not setting any measures, I'm not setting any targets. I'm saying, Anuradha, you have to see, we have to increase our employee satisfaction. Okay. Employee satisfaction is one of the objective. So you have to conduct employee satisfaction surveys. Now, how will you know what is the measure of my survey? Huh? what is the target, okay, and what kind of initiative I need to do if I have to increase my employee engagement satisfaction. Are you with me now? So what happens? You have to have objective measures, targets. Simple. Say we'll take the very easy one. I will take the internal business process objective. So in order to ensure that, um, I can actually increase the number of flights by reducing the turnaround time, that becomes my objective. Is this very clear? Fast turnaround time. Now, how will I achieve? How will I track the progress? How will I know? So what do I need to do? Hey guys, are you with me? This is a very simple thing. Have you understood, first of all, turnaround time?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in order to ensure that I need to have certain measure. So what will I do? I'll take data. I will do analytics and I will say, hey, what are the various things on ground time and also time to depart? How much time it has to be there. So I'll take past data and say, hey, 30 minutes by the moment it comes, and then it has to take off in 30 minutes. Okay. Then you will say you'll also fix a target. At least 90% of the time, they should be doing that. Right? And I will say, hey, to ensure that what is that I need to do. If they are not able to, then I will look at L&D. Is the ground crew trained? What are they doing? Do they know what to do things? Right? So this is how you will write your objective, measure, target, and initiative. Simple. Let us look at another type. So, say for example, it's a manufacturing organization. You want to reduce cycle time. You know what is cycle time, no? You want to reduce in a manufacturing organization, say automobile cars. You want to reduce cycle time. What will you write? One of your objectives can be what? Cycle time. The other could also be productivity, or it could be defective rate. So we'll take defective rate. What could be a measure?
Maybe defective rate only at 5% or so.
You will fix a measure, right?
Percent.
How many
Yeah.
defects can be there? No?
Oh.
You look at past data and then you'll target, hey, 99% I want, maybe, if it is an aviation industry, you can't have defects. No, you won't fly then. It has to be totally Six Sigma kinds. Okay. So you will then you will write. So what will be the initiatives? Why my data shows that there are many rejects, there are many defects. So probably my people, so you will locate where does it need training. So you will start doing training, necessary requisite training. Let us look at one more example. And that's how you're going to learn. Yeah. Okay. So now, without losing much time, now once you have done that, now you will identify, now you can also create a typical HR strategy map uh, uh, basing on whatever objectives you have written for your learning and growth. So some of you have written, right? Hiring right talent, etc., etc. Now, how does a typical HR strategic map look like, and how can it be translated into a typical balance scorecard and ensure that it's actually adding value to business and giving? Say, for example, if you just look at this, okay, in a learning or growth, you have to develop internal HR capabilities. What does it mean? Say, for example, you are an organization which is hiring a lot of people. Okay. So, what processes will you give focus to? So, maybe you have to develop your process, which is called your internal process of recruitment, right? Huh? So excellent recruitment processes, right? Okay. Then if you want to develop, this is your objective here, capabilities, maybe competencies. You have to ensure that the right kind of competencies are there in your business processes. Then you also may have to have talent management practices best, like performance management or a L&D, etc. Your performance management, your development, your L&D. So when we are looking at HR, your internal business processes for that strategy map, all your processes become your internal business processes. So that you are able to, so when all these are right, like for example, your excellent recruitment process, you have right competencies, you have good performance management, then how does it impact your internal customers? Who are your customers? Employees. So how will it
Employees.
impact customers? So how will it impact your customers?
Pos-
Obviously there'll be good positive work environment, your employee satisfaction will be very, very high. It will become employee centric organization. You are enhancing your internal customer satisfaction will be so high. So when it will be high, ultimately obviously they are going to produce better, your productivity is going to go up, and which is going to give you profits,
Long-term.
productivity, right? Revenue. You getting me? Yeah.
Yes.
Guys, are you getting a little bit of an understanding of how, because all of you, it might be very new, so therefore I'm actually giving you the help of these templates so that you are able to understand.
Yeah.
Say for example, if employee productivity is one of your strategic objectives, we are all custodians of productivity, no? Aren't we? When we are
Yes,
doing
ma'am.
performance management, we are all, that is one of our strategic objectives. So if I have to have enhancing employee productivity, what could be one of my measure, or what could be my KPI? Simple. Revenue per employee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, whatever is given on the screen, profit per employee, revenue per employee, revenue per
Yeah,
FTE.
absolutely.
So,
It,
so
it, it
these are
helps
the
you, right?
things.
Because
Yes.
revenue per employee, how do you calculate? I'm having that also, but I want to check with you. Revenue per employee, how will you calculate? Total revenue divided
Total
by
revenue by total employees
Total
during
employee.
that year.
number of employees, your payroll number of employees. That will
Yes,
give
yes.
you revenue per employee. Even profit, total profit divided by number of
Employees.
employees.
We can also have location-based productivity.
Exactly, exactly. See again, if you are, these are all very close to HR. If you, there was somebody here, HRBP, they said they did, or if you are doing employee engagement, one of your strategic objective will be what? Employee satisfaction, no? And how
Yeah.
do you get employee satisfaction? How do you check it? Through your key performance
The
indicator will
surveys.
be what? Huh?
The surveys.
ESI, employee satisfaction index. So if I have to give you a target, what will you write there? How will you write there? If you have that framework, no, measure, target. So what will you do? If you have to increase the employee satisfaction index, what will be the target? What will be the general guideline? You will look at last
The
year's
su-
Yeah.
index
Current
target
last.
and
Yeah.
say you have to increase it by 2 points.
by X
No?
points or something like
You
that.
won't say you will reduce it. The target will be increased as opposed to last year.
Right.
Say, for example, you feel that, hey, right now the employees have just gone through a merger or acquisition. Looks like, we're not going to achieve that. Then what initiative will you take? You have to write the initiative, because it is not just mentioning the target and measure. You have to make it what achievable. So you have to have an initiative saying that, hey, maybe the HR business partner, will have to do a lot of engagements, activities, talk to them, skip level, pulse meetings. Are you with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So again, let us go to very important objective. What is it called? Readiness of employees with competencies. That means you are so developing human capital with this required strategic competencies is one of your key strategic objective. So first of all, how will you know what kind of competencies? First of all, tell me as HR people. Obviously you will have to check out, right, with the business, what are those new what are the pipeline, what are the strategic initiatives, or what kind of positions we have, and then look at whether we have readiness for those positions. So we have to take into consideration developing those competencies, and they are not going to be ready in a minute, because there will be some amount of lead time by the time you give a those training programs. So you have to have a measure, you have to have a target, and you have to have initiative. What kind of initiative? Now I'm actually showing you all these objectives of HR, and also what are the measures, for the reason that you may not at your level be doing everything, but I'm sure you will be able to think, because that's the next thing I'm going to give you. Think of one area of HR which you are dealing directly, and derive what? Saying this is the objective, this is the measure, this is the target, and this is what an initiative which can be done. With respect to your role, you could be in a compensation, you could be an engagement person, you could be an HR operation person. In your role, just identify. That's what the next thing we are going to now align what you do and develop a what? Metrics, key metrics. Say, for example, if I have to do performance management. So, like typically in a performance management, what are some of those metrics you follow? I know what, as an HR head, I know what typically what we would do. And then I would say, hey, this is not enough. Typically, what are some of those measures, KPIs for performance management? At the end of the year, when you have to roll out your performance management, what do you do? You'll keep a tracker, no? And say, okay, fine. How many people have actually now given the feedback form? How many people have actually completed the review,
Completed
performance
the
review? Have you? How many people have? We,
yeah,
so because as an
manager
HR
ratings and
VP
everything
person,
completed.
I'm only interested in, have I rolled it out? Have I ensured that it is finished and collected?
Compliance.
Implemented. Okay, so that also could be one of the, measure, target, etc. But that is more towards the efficiency part. But then towards the effectiveness part, that is what? Collecting feedback. Have I done the collection of feedback? Then have I categorized into all kinds of needs? Then have I said, hey, what kind of training need identification I have then created? Because where do you get the inputs from for the training needs? Where do you get the inputs from? Typically, where do you collect the
From the
training
The
operator.
need?
PNI
appraisal
forms,
forms.
From the
PNI
appraisal
forms,
form.
appraisal forms,
Mostly in every
feedback.
organization, that's a common feature, right? Okay. I've sent this HR scorecard also, guys, right? To help you understand for recruitment, okay? What can be a key performance indicator? What is it? What is written here? But typically for recruitment, what is one of the measure? Measure is nothing but a key performance indicator. What is the measure?
TAT.
Lead time.
Lead time, right? Lead time to recruit employees. It could be 30 days, it could be 60 days, it could be 80 days. No? So What will you write here? It could be weightage, could be 50%, 30%, 40%. Then you'll
Yeah.
write target, and then you'll write what has been actual, etc. Okay. Training and development. What are some of the KPIs you will track?
Number of hours per employee.
Training hours, right? Even rate of productivity. And in career progression, I don't know how many people do that. We could do that. Then retention. So typically when you have a form like this, you can also, I think I sent this as well. So you can have a target. You can have then find out how much is the actual. Then you can actually score it and then give a final score. Okay. Okay. So what I want you all to do now, all of you, both the groups have done the balance scorecard, right? Try to do the strategic map, maybe a basic level, but because one of the groups hasn't even made those ovals. Just create those arrows, what indicating what causes the effect. Okay, that's one. And take just in both the groups, just one HR strategic objective, which in your organization, in your role, anyone, one common one. And please write objectives, that objective, measure, target, and if you think it could be like, performance management, it could be attrition, it could be employee satisfaction, anyone. But take that objective or two, which is critical to you right now. Because that will make sense. When you go back, maybe you can track it. Okay. And this is like very clear, I think. Just give me a thumbs up if it's not clear, please. Anybody can actually raise your hand and ask for clarification.
So we are doing this for HR department only, or we are aligning to the
No. Now we are doing it
overall
only for the HR department. Also, in particular, look at one strategic objective or two. All of you are in different roles. One could be in a compensation role, one could be in a, but take one or two objectives and do it as a group. And do it only for the HR department. Are you with me?
Yeah.
But please reflect in your organization that in our organization, this is strategic, this is critical. So do that. Okay. This, say for example, this is just one case study of a strategy map. So this is a strategy map at a company level, at an organization level.
Yes.
This is clear, huh? With the 4 perspectives, with the strategic map saying that, the cause and effect relationship. And for all these at a financial, customer, the objectives, you have the measures, targets, and initiative. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, please do
Yeah.
it full screen.
I'll do the full screen. Okay. Now is it okay?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is a strategy map, which also has a balance scorecard. No, so when you say strategy map, you can't do a strategy map without a balance scorecard framework. Done? Huh? Step 1. So it has vision, mission, and what are the challenges. Then you have the 4 perspectives. Clear? Then for every perspective, you have certain objectives. For example, in the financial, increase the revenue, increase profitability, etc. Done? This is clear? So for example, you also have at a learning and growth, improve knowledge and skills, improve telecom network in terms of technology, improve technology, etc. Now for all these, you have measures, you have targets, and you have initiatives. Can you just give me a thumbs up that yes, this is clear? Yeah? Huh? Okay. Anuradha? Anuradha has given thumbs up. Okay. Where is the other group? Have they come?
Yeah.
Is the other group also there? Okay. Now, typically in an organization, what do? You will cascade this down to the last mile. So what does cascading mean? First, it will get into departmental or business. Every business will have their own strategy maps. So likewise, even HR will have a strategy map. Now look at this HR strategy map.
Mm.
Are you with me?
Yes.
So because well, I called it a strategy map, but typically every organization, when they follow a strategy map, they even HR will have a strategy map with these 4 perspectives, right? Okay. Now, when you're looking at an entire HR strategy map, then you are looking at all your processes. You are looking at all your strategic objectives. So here for because of the paucity of time, I said take just one process. Got it? Just to give you an understanding, saying that how does that cause and effect kind of a thing get established? Are you with me, Avinash? Avinash, are you with
Yes, ma'am.
me?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is an example of the same company of a strategic map. If you say that their improved training program, these are their strategic objectives at a organization level. So how they have to improve their entire processes, which gives help in the customers, and then therefore in the financials. Okay. So this you'll need to actually have the entire HR department, the CHO, everybody, then do this. So for your understanding, I said, hey, maybe just you can do for one process. Ideally, typically at your level, what do? You only do metrics. Say, for example, now we are actually going to get into those metrics. Whereas, do we have the other group as well?
Yeah,
Ma'am, all of them are there.
all of
Yeah,
us are
yeah.
there.
All of us are there,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay, so have you understood this, that you typically have organizations will have a strategy map, and then followed by when you cascade it down, every department, every business head, and the HR including will have a strategy map which will also follow the same balance scorecard template, so that you are ensuring that these objectives along with the measures, targets, and everything discussed go to the last mile, which become operational and tactical. Otherwise, what happens, the strategy remains as a strategy. For example, I have an HR strategy developed, and I'm saying, hey, to ensure that I'm going to have the right kind of people at the right time and with the right kind of competencies, without any delay, so that the business is able to achieve its goals. Now, how will I do that? So obviously, I'll have to look at all my internal business processes, which include the recruitment, which includes my competency development, which is talent development, which includes talent management, maybe because career planning, succession planning, okay, which includes even compensation, maybe because if I don't give the right kind of compensation, I won't get people. If I do all that, then my internal employees, that is, customers, are happy, and then therefore I'm actually increasing revenue per user. Are you with me, guys? Especially Anuradha, I could see her, I could see her facial language saying that, oh my God, this is really, let me tell you, it's not complex, guys. Okay, it's not complex. But because, yes, it's a little new. But having said that, you don't have to get into a strategy map. I'm saying, hey, whatever you are doing, have clarity on that. Because that's where now we are going to do a little more work on saying that how will you develop those metrics? Because metrics are very, very important. Measures are important for your analytics. So we will be looking at all the metrics. Okay. Let us just quickly run through metrics. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So can you see this? What are some of the metrics used for talent attraction? Anybody? So when you want to attract talent, what is it? One metric I want to look at: employee branding. No,
Yeah, employee
Yeah,
branding. Yes.
employee
Employee
branding.
branding.
does it become important?
It
Because
does.
you want to have the pull effect. So you can compute it. So this PPT, I'm going to share it with you all. So there is how you have to compute it. You also look at offer acceptance rate. No, say for example, you have given out what 500 offers, and you have only 20% of the people of accepting it. What does it mean? That people really don't want? And out of accepting it, only 5% have come to join.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Then you can imagine, huh? What kind of a reputation this brand has, huh? No? Then position vacancy, can that also be an indicator for you? Position vacancy? If your positions are not filled, some of the positions for 6 months, huh? What does
Right.
it say? Hey, there is something, huh? That means either you are not paying right, your compensation has to be looked into, market corrections have not been made, no?
Hmm.
Or internal hire rate. What is that? Saying that uh, IJPs.
IJPs
Nobody
or
wants to
succession
really do.
plans.
Nobody wants to do lateral. Huh? So you can also look at how many people, when there's a vacancy, wanting to really join in different positions. So these are some of the metrics you can look at when you are looking at talent attraction. Any questions here, guys?
Ma'am, can the internal succession plan also be considered as internal hire, internal resource, number of applicants hired internally?
But tell me, internal, you're saying succession plan. What is succession plan?
I am readying the resource internally for a, higher position.
Yeah, but when do you hire them for a higher position? In fact, you can actually look at it as a different, that means your readiness, that means your training. So you are upskilling people. You can look at another metric there.
Okay.
No?
Okay.
You
Yeah.
can look
So
at
instead
another
of
metric there.
saying
That instead
succession
of going
planning, we should
outside, you are training your people, you are creating career paths, and then you are trying to give them training as well. And then you are looking at succession plans. No?
Okay. So
right.
then
So
I'm
instead of
investing a certain portion over there. Okay.
Absolutely. And you are getting better people, and also you are actually at a lesser cost
Okay.
and better
yeah, so I was
branding.
saying instead of saying
Yeah.
internal succession planning, it is better to say internal job posting in this case.
No. Internal job posting and in succession planning are two different things.
Yes, in this case where we are saying internal higher rate for the developing metrics and HR
Here
scorecard.
we are actually looking at job postings here. Because when you are saying succession, it is at a higher level, the job, not the same job. Right?
Right. So it is a
Yeah.
very, I mean, we are digressing from the discussion, but that is
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah. Now, what about this recruitment and selection? Are you familiar with cost per hire?
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes.
So take all the costs and then divide it by the total number of hires. And I think I told you yesterday, when you are tracking cost per hire, you must have, hey, what are the various costs I'm taking? And do it, huh? Define it. What are the costs? Because you should not be doing in particular way. Another department is doing it another way. Somebody else is doing it another way. So you need to define it. What are the various costs I'm taking? Hey, this is what it is. So that what happens? Standardization. You know
Ma'am,
exactly cost.
a
Yeah.
question here on the cost per hire. Should the notice buyout joining bonus also be part of this or no?
No, when you're looking at how many people are you going to give joining bonuses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very, very few people.
Very few people, right?
1% or 2%. No?
Okay, so even if it is not added, it is fine, or if we add it, it will just bloat it. Or what is the recommended?
But then you are going to get, it will be like, arithmetic mean, there will be an outlier. Huh?
Okay, that way.
Because when you're looking at cost per hire, are you going to, you are looking at, you will also do this at associate level, what it is, because you are also having a budget, no?
Right.
At a TM level, So there is something called volume hiring. There is something called only you will be hiring 1 or 2 people. No,
Right.
on an average, if you are looking at everything, you will add up everything. But then somewhere it will be hidden, you won't know exactly. So typically, when you are looking at a cost per hire, you actually segment it. When I'm saying segment it, is by positions. At an
Okay.
associate level, you would be doing a lot of volume hiring, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Like, for example, at a CXO positions, they are different, no?
Right.
But if you're going to add CXO cost and also associate cost, then it will not give you, there'll be too much of an outlier data.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So the
Yeah.
recruitment
Wherever
per
the
cost per hire is applicable for what circle of recruitment? Because somewhere in
You
IT
have to look at it.
industry,
Uh, yeah,
if
tell
I
me.
just say, ma'am, in IT industry, basically you can see that the 50-60 lakhs hiring people is a very common in IT industry,
Mm, mm,
right? And
mm.
so that so the interviewer, who's internal interviewer is allowing for taking interviews, their cost also would be like added to find out the recruitment
Absolutely.
per cost, the hour which they
Absolutely.
are giving.
Yeah.
So
Number of
if
hours.
yeah, so if as per Meghna, if somewhere
Mm,
in IT
mm.
industry also we are going to pay like notice period if we have to get the people in our company as soon as possible, then
You'll add it up.
if the
Yeah,
reference
you.
check cost would be added for the per cost per hire, then that cost also includes, because somewhere it is impacting the budget. If suppose
Reference
that
check,
we
is
are
it?
hiring, no, not
Mm.
reference check, it's terms of I'm saying notice period cost,
notice
Yeah,
period.
right?
notice
So
period cost you will
if
add
we
it
are
because
paying
some,
some
but
other organization, the cost would be
mm,
impact approx 1 lakhs and 1 lakh 50 lakhs, the
mm,
good
mm,
resource which we want to hire in our organizations. So
mm.
direct or indirect, that cost is going to impact the recruitment
Your
cost.
budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
it
it
must
depends
be added.
from industry to industry. Now, the point I'm trying to say is under recruitment to get a people, okay, your software industry or a BPO, different. So what are the various costs you are adding? So have a checklist and then ensure that you are following the same thing for everything. No?
Hmm.
So that you are
Okay.
standardizing, not that X is doing in one way and Y is doing. Define it.
So it
What
will
is that you
change
are
the industry
actually?
to industry and company to company.
Yeah. So for your industry, for your company, what are you adding? At least you should have. But let me also tell you, typically, so you will also compare with what? You will compare it with also your peer industry, no? Generally to know, hey, my cost per hire is this much. But depending on again, when I'm talking about comparison again, you need to compare apples to apples. Do not compare again apples to oranges. You might be a chip company, another person might be an IT company, just service provider. So the kind of skill sets is getting from the market and must be at a lesser cost. So you can't. So you have to, if you're wanting to compare, you have to compare similar industries and see why should you compare to know at least, hey, am I really hiring at a very high cost? Right? That's also
Yeah, of
important,
course,
no?
that goes to the only
Mm.
service to or product, as you said.
Yeah.
So
So,
it will
so
differ.
I will not say that one size fits all kind of a thing. It depends on what kind of industry it is, what type it is, what uniqueness it has. You have to take all that into consideration. No?
But in cost per hire, I can see in that formula is everything is mentioned, but not mentioned the cost of the like recruiter.
Cost of the
Recruiter.
recruiter.
Yeah. Like some companies even capture the interviewer's time or that much time ka
Yeah, yeah.
salary also.
The interviews time or people who have traveled, you will take everything into
Yeah.
consideration. Huh? So
No,
it
I am I
depends.
am I am asking about man recruiter. Recruiter means the person who is the recruiting. So the HR
I know.
recruiter cost is not
Hmm.
here actually. So I just want to
It is
understand
not
why it
here,
is
but
not here.
so typically the recruiters cost one does not really there. In some organizations, probably in some they make an exception. But this is in general what is the trend, So if you notice in most of the organizations, they don't put the recruiters because he's getting a salary and that salary is kept outside. But maybe, I mean, some organizations like the IT can do it because most of the time, yeah, the recruiters are also quite,
But
they're
the
traveling.
recruiter cost is included in the recruitment budget. That's why if we
You
are
have to
taking
look at
any
it.
HR
this is
Yeah,
very
yeah.
department budget and the
Then you will
recruitment
have to
budget,
look at it. Yeah. Then you
so
will
so
have
this
to
is
look
very
into that.
industry specific thing. I mean, all companies and industries have their own way of calculating
Yeah.
things. But I feel
no,
whatever is given in the presentation, that is more or less common at all places. There could be some industry specific things like the recruiters charges and things like that. So I mean, we
Yeah.
have to be
So in
flexible with
fact,
that.
what I will do is I will give you a list of this very detailed one I have. So even variances from industry to industry, so that you know exactly in what industries, how do they compute it. It will help you. Okay. Because in a, say, for example, in an infrastructure organization, how do they look at it? Because there are also some hidden costs there. So I will just give you those details. Maybe it will help you. Right? Okay, replacement costs. That could be a very good metric. Salary cost
Yeah.
per employee. How do you do that?
There's not compensation.
Typically, how do you measure?
total
So
staff
total
compensation cost of the year,
compensation
average number of
by,
employees in a
yeah,
particular period.
divided by the number of employees in that particular period. Yield ratio. Now you can say yield ratio can be done for at every stage of your entire recruitment process. Can you or can you not? The funnel process. Yeah? Nobody is responding. Yield ratio. Huh?
We've not done it.
I did.
We don't
I
maintain
did.
a funnel.
No, it's very important to do your yield ratio, especially, then you will know exactly at what stage you're having an issue. Is it at sourcing? Is it at screening? Or is it at selection or interview? So it's very important to do analysis of the yield ratios. First of all, do you understand what is the yield ratio?
No. Actually, I just
Any-
want to understand what is exactly the yield ratio is.
Okay. Only you and anybody else?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand? Okay. So
No, we
what
need
is
to
an
know.
yield ratio? Typically, if you look at the recruitment process, you can use this funnel approach, right? Saying that, it starts with the requisition, and you will actually what will you do? You will actually look at what? Hmm? Sourcing channels.
Sourcing
So can you
channels.
look at a yield ratio? For example, what percentage of CVs have you got from every channel? Will that
Means, ma'am,
help you
we
if you
just want
look
to
at?
understand, like, if we want to understand the meaning, like the replacement, we can understand what exactly the mean of the replacement is. In a similar
Hmm.
way, if one sentence or one word you wanted to say for the yield ratio, which focus on which word or meaning, so that we can focus on the recruitment process, we can understand well.
Okay. So I don't have. So let me. So when I talk about, I'll just show you. It's a very common term in the recruitment process. Okay. Yield ratio. Right. So when I say yield ratio, you have to look at entire process. Okay. Now in this process, what are the various? You have to look at what? Stages. So can you tell me what are the stages? Quick.
Sourcing, screening,
Sourcing,
interviewing.
screening,
Huh?
interviews. Yeah.
Sourcing. We'll
Yeah.
go broadly, huh?
Yeah.
Sourcing, screening, interviewing,
Okay.
offering,
Sourcing, huh?
selection, negotiations,
Broadly.
Screening
We are looking at just
screening.
broad, huh?
Screening, selection,
Selection.
and
negotiate,
then
interview. ठीक है.
I will actually put it as selection will be also interviewing.
Interview.
Then
Yeah.
Yes.
Offer? What?
Job offer.
Job
Job offer.
offer.
offers.
Enjoy, acceptance,
Acceptance.
and then joining.
So typically what happens in a recruitment process, okay, you're looking at till there. But also,
Joining onboarding.
no, join.
Yeah.
Now, say for example, when I look at an yield ratio, it is also called a funnel approach, saying that just simple 1,000,000 CVs you have received. Okay. After 1,000 CVs have been received these are CVs, you have received them. After looking at they have gone through the recruitment tracker and screening, you have only got, say for example, 500.
500.
Okay. Then after that, say for example, 100. Selected. So you made, you selected them, but you only gave job offers, say for example, to 50 people. Acceptance was also, say for example, just 50, but joined only 10.
10.
Okay.
Okay.
So one broad percentage or yield ratio you can look at is typically what organizations do. Sourcing to join is. Okay. Out of 1,000 CVs, only 10 have joined. Look at the entire cost. Receiving 1,000 CVs, sending so many, then screening them, selecting them. Automotive
The
effort must
ratio
have gone.
finally will be
And then what?
the ratio will be
What is
finally
the ratio? No, what is the ratio?
so ratio will be finally
Point?
we will find out on the basis of the sourcing number of sourcing. So that it goes to number of joining
no.
out of sourcing. It's a yield
So,
ratio.
no. So typically yield ratio, one is the broad ratio of sourcing to joiners. But now at every stage, 1,000 CVs, screening 500. Here, okay, the recruitment tracker took, so the yield ratio is what? How much here? 100 CVs, 500 have been screened. That means they were just fit. The skill sets were okay.
50%.
Good. 50%.
50%.
So, which is not bad. Okay. But then these 50%, what happened then here? What will be the ratio?
20%. 20%.
Out of 500, only 100 have been selected. How many?
Yeah,
So what is the
20%
percentage?
from
20%.
screening and 10% from sourcing.
20%. Yeah.
Okay. So if you see this, where do you think typically something I need to really look at?
Screening
Where
to
is the huge
selection.
problem?
Job offer 50%.
So I need to look at even selection. That means probably my recruitment tracker must have just looked at skill set. But when I'm selecting, the CVs which have been screened were not really there, because I would appreciate if there was at least 50% selected. So to
Yes,
improve the
agree.
yield rate, what will I do? You need to understand that. Then
JDs will
again,
have to be well defined.
job offers to joinees. Why from 50 to only 10? So let me tell you, typically, I'll share one very interesting incident. So typically when I used to work in this KPO, healthcare KPO, we used to give a lot of job offers. People would also accept it. But joinees, today we have actually planned for 30 people to join and roll out a program. There will only be 5 people. Why do you think so? So that means somewhere my recruiters have actually not done the job. So what we realized, we did analytics and we understood that most of them didn't know 2 things. A, that it was a night
Night job.
As
Okay.
opposed to daytime, it was a night process. Two, so they were not ready. Two, their salaries were not discussed in detail. So they had some kind of ambiguity in terms of what is that they would get. So what happens? I always say, hey, you must, before even giving the offer, before even actually, I would typically say when you are even putting a job posting, you have to clearly state all
Yeah.
those dissonance factors. This is the night process. Okay. This is the salary where you cannot negotiate at all. So those are called the dissonance factors, which you have to put. Otherwise, you are going to get lot of unwanted CVs. Or say, for example, if you want a graduate only in commerce, then put it as BCom. Otherwise, you will get graduates with what? Home science and this science and everything. Are you with me, guys? Huh?
Yeah.
How you can actually then do and say, hey, why am I not getting? Because a lot of organizations, they have a lot of CVs. Because if you have a lot of CVs and then actually when you're screening, you find that a lot of CVs are not fit enough. So somewhere your job posting, somewhere clarity with the sourcing guys, it was not clear. Channels. So you need to set out exactly what is, define what you want.
Okay.
Okay. Because in my experience, this is what I found. And in fact, for the night process, we would say do the interview only at night so that they understand that how the night looks like. And we would walk them through the entire floor and show them how it looks even before we interview, because that's a dissonance factor. So once he is okay to all those conditions, yes, then we test them. Otherwise, take him through everything, give an acceptance, and then after that, he doesn't accept the offer and join. What a waste of time. You agree?
Yes.
Fine, ma'am. But what is the
Yes.
like kind of final ratio of that one where you give an example? So
Ah,
can we just go on that page, ma'am, again, where you doing
so
that one, the exercise where
I
you were
hope that
taking a
yeah,
thought?
One was
I hope it is there.
20%.
Yeah, yeah. Tell me.
It's
Yeah. So finally,
10 out of 50 join.
so
Ah.
10 join only. The final, what will the ratio? That will in a process percentage we will find out. Then we will divide by the 100 or somewhere that
So
out
how
of
will you do it?
1000,
Now,
10%.
Yeah.
again, you have to decide on what will you do. Every organizations are different way. Now, every organizations there are organizations which will use sourcing CVs and then joining CVs and create a yield ratio. There are organizations which will do it at every stage. Okay, at every stage and say, hey, this is my yield rate at every stage. Why I will actually recommend at every stage? Because if you have to analyze and find out the root cause analysis, then you will not be able to find out, hey, at which stage of your recruitment process has a problem. You
That's
will have to
fine.
have data at all the stages. Yes, Avinash. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So
Hmm?
finally, if we
Yeah.
just go through your strategy, ma'am, finally we just want to understand what
Uh-huh.
exactly the final yield ratio when the 10% are joining after sourcing
Hmm.
of 1000.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it
It is
would
just
be like
1%.
in a
This is a very
1%.
hypothetical. Obviously, no organization can afford to have this. But let me also tell you, in BPOs, like I've been there on the ground. Oh yes, we used to source a lot of people, but there were two. We did a lot of analysis, root cause analysis. There were two things: job posting not clear. Okay, and that is why we used to receive a lot of unwanted CVs. Two, when you are again wanting to improve this ratio of job offer to joinees, which is a very important kind of a yield ratio, job offers to joinees, which also speaks about your brand. Why are people not joining? This is a very important yield ratio. Okay. And if not many people are actually joining, then you need to look at why are they not joining? Is your
So there
salary
are pre-joining engagement activities also, especially for mass
no,
hiring.
salary could be one. Why is
Yes,
there,
salary
why is
could
the
be
brand
one.
getting affected? Or is it, there could be various factors, right?
So finally, ma'am, the yield ratio would be like if we just calculate on the basis of 1000 and
Ah,
joining is 10 is to come around 0.01.
Yeah, very, very,
Right.
this is insignificant kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But
1%.
I would typically say that for joinees, you should also typically take this from joining offers, rolling out offers to joining. That's a very good indicator. And also look at how many have you sourced and how many have you been selecting. Okay, that's also a very good.
So
I
the
would
yield ratio
recommend.
is like in a process of where we need to improvement. S-
Yeah, where you
Basically,
need to
it is.
improve.
Yes. So
Improvement,
if
process efficiency,
yes, so this is
or
all
I
about,
could
I
call
think.
it as your own operational efficiency of your internal business process of recruitment process. And let me tell you, people take it lightly, recruitment process, but that is a very important, critical process
Important.
because that's the gateway and that's where you get your talent. You have to be very clear of what kind of talent are you getting into it. So I personally, because typically I would give a lot of importance to recruitment. The kind of talent you are bringing, have clarity, skill sets. Not only that, maybe you can compromise, maybe above threshold you can have competencies, but the right kind of attitude, so those also have to be actually factored in your selection criteria, what kind of attitudes you require, etc., what kind of, very important.
And ma'am, the selection versus sourced over here is also talking about the rejection ratio.
Yeah, okay, so let me just quickly run through one more and then quality of hire, is it important?
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes.
This is another ratio which you have to look at. Avinash,
Yeah.
are you looking at this hire, the
Yes, yes,
quality of
ma'am.
hire ratio? Say,
Yes,
for
ma'am.
example, I have hired, 50 people have joined, okay, new hires. Huh? And 30 people have attrited um, in the first 3 months. What does it reflect?
No performance.
Huh?
The quality of the hires is bad.
So
We
the
are not
recruiter
getting the
only
performance.
looked at numbers, filling positions. He did not look at what? The quality of hire. So what happens when I always say, hey, you have to actually say, you have to put that quality of hire. We will do that in our next, in fact, in session 3, when we are doing analytics. What kind of, specific criteria you have to put in quality of hire. It's just not the numbers. It is also what kind of people you want, right?
Right.
Okay. This I will go to interesting. L&D is a very interesting thing, right? Metrics, huh? So we'll just do this. L&D, how do you measure typically? Cost per full-time employee, L&D cost, right? Total
Investment.
investment of L&D divided by what? Total number of employees who have participated in that, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Then every organization has something like, written down, hey, so many training hours we have to do for our employees. Do you have that in your organization?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes,
Huh?
ma'am.
2 full days or 3 full days, there's something like that. Huh? Now training costs, you can also do training costs, you can track them. Then even satisfaction, you can track them. In fact, you have Kirkpatrick model. Have you heard of Kirkpatrick model?
Heard but not
Ma'am.
remembered actually. It's long back.
Huh? You remember little, huh? So we will talk about it. We will do L&D metrics in detail. Then we will talk about it. So how you can actually measure the satisfaction.
This
It
is all
has
about the
four
rating one,
levels.
two, three, four, five,
It has,
or four.
yeah, it
Four.
has 4 levels and how you can
4 levels.
actually
Yeah.
track them. Okay. Yeah. Then employee satisfaction index, that I'm sure you know how to track them. We'll do one more metric so that we save time on for the next
But
time.
ma'am, in
Yeah.
terms of L&D, sorry, just have a question. In terms of L&D, the training effectiveness measure, how do we bring in
Yes.
that? which is getting
You
converted
tell
into
me.
your productivity.
So these are more of what metrics? Huh? These are more of
The
lead
what do
metrics,
we say?
lag
Yeah,
metrics. Huh?
yeah.
So effectiveness happens after some time, no?
After some time, so that's a lag.
Okay.
But
So if you want to, I will
eventually,
just give you a broad, so we will also do that. But if you, we will do an, in fact, we can do regression correlation and get the training effectiveness. So just because you've asked, how will you do that? So what will you do? A person has gone for a training, say
training,
quality training. He's
right,
come back. Now you have to also then track his performance after the training, no?
right.
For 6 months and see how has he performed. So is there a correlation between this training given and what is the term?
The
The
increase in the,
performance.
yeah,
You can actually see performance, his performance before the training and his performance
performance after the training.
after the training.
Hmm.
You can't measure immediately. You have to give him 3 months at least to
Right,
see. You
right.
can track the performance and then you can see the effectiveness, right?
Yeah, okay. So,
Like,
uh,
yeah.
so
What do you-
if I have to talk about the balance scorecard of the L&D role, in that
Hmm.
as the target, we can link this effectiveness.
So I'm going to show you
I'm just
because I'm
jumping.
not going to
Sorry.
open up that. No, 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 no. I'm not going to open up, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some real real balance scorecard HR strategy maps. Okay. In
Okay,
just before the start of the session, so that you
okay,
are very, very clear about how organizations are doing it. Done?
okay, sure.
Hmm? So that real organizations, huh?
The performance
So that you
outcome
are able to then understand better. There's somebody who's talking something I'm not able to hear. Yeah.
yeah. I think the training effectiveness can be measured uh, for, let's suppose, an employee is performance before the training and performance after the training.
Yeah. Pre and post. Huh.
Mm.
So we can look at productivity or performance scores pre and post. Say, for
Okay,
example, if
one
it is
more
not,
thing
you
is
can.
there sometimes, just to check the effectiveness, sometimes uh, different trainers they do it that there is a pre-test before conducting the training, and soon after conducting the training they do the post-test then and there.
So
So is
typically
it
what
going to
happens
be
when you do a
effective, or it requires a bit of time to reflect that performance of an employee?
No, no. So
No, no, no,
therefore,
no.
you tell me.
That,
You tell me.
yeah,
So I will talk about one nice, interesting model, the Crickback model, the next session, saying that immediately the trainer or the organizations take a feedback. So what is it
Hmm.
about? Huh? Okay,
ma'am,
was the food nice? Was the pace
Hmm.
nice? Huh?
Hmm.
Was the content okay? Did you find the trainer okay?
yeah.
Are you
And
getting
also the
me?
concept clarity, ma'am. I mean,
Only
prior to, yeah,
content, clarity.
Even
You can't
even
expect
if the if
immediately
the
to
even
perform.
if even
Hmm.
if the employee is contented on the content,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
my perspective is we are talking about his practical performance which he is expected to do. How can we
Ah,
do that so
no, no, no.
instantly
So,
after the training?
so therefore, you will see that even in that feedback form, it is
Hmm.
not going to measure effectiveness.
Hmm.
You getting me?
Yeah.
Are you clear about it? Effectiveness is a lag indicator, outcome.
Hmm. Hmm.
It will come after some time. It is not a lead indicator. Lead indicator clarity. Have you understood the concepts? Right?
Yeah.
Was the trainer, engaging? Huh?
Actually, I'm just sharing an example. I mean, with the knowledge of some of the colleagues who are working in the industry, and
Sure.
they are doing this practice, which
Hmm.
I personally was not so comfortable with, and I was always thinking that there should be some span of time which is required to prove that the training was effective or not.
No, no, this is absolutely obvious. When you're looking at immediate feedback, it is just looking at, hey, was everything okay? Was it fitting what you wanted, etc. But effectiveness comes, say, for example, leadership training program. I've sent you for a leadership training program, not to
Hmm.
Harvard. for 3 months program. So immediately after that, if I say, hey, have you been able to uh, coach, train, and mentor your subordinates into leaders? Tell me. You'll go back, you'll use those skills. So you have to use the skills, to show effectiveness.
Yes, ma'am.
I will go through a recruitment process training, how to ensure efficiency, etc. I will go back, deploy those techniques, everything. And then after 3 months, 6 months, if as a recruiter, I've been able to do cost efficiencies, I've been able to work on my lead times, I've been able to work on my yield ratios by getting better talent. That is effectiveness, no? Overall, I'm able to, then at the end of it, after 3 months, I have recruited people, and still 80% of the people are there. You're there with me? Okay? All right.
So, ma'am, just to add on to this, what we have been doing is, prior to the functional trainings or whatever is the training requirement critical to the function, we take
Mm.
the end objectives from the leaders as to what is it that they are expecting if their batch is getting trained on a particular topic, and we go back to them after the training has been imparted after say 3 months, and then after again 6 months, in terms
Mm.
of where they are seeing the improvement in the
Mm.
application and whether there has been a shift in the the
Right,
goals achieved or
right,
stuff like that.
right, right.
So
So also now, just to give you a little more add-on, so there are two kinds of training, right? One is skill-based training or functional training. The other is behavioral training, right?
behavioral
So
training.
functional training or skill training, process training. So you can see the results quickly. But behavioral training will take a little more time. No?
Little true.
Say, for example, I've sent somebody for what negotiation skills. So it will take time, and you will also see how is he negotiating, and the performance will definitely speak up. So I'm sending somebody for a communication skills training. It will take time, right? So, again, behavioral training for to look at the effectiveness, it takes a longer time rather, and as opposed to just the skill training, or like for example, finance training for for HR people, for non-finance people, right? Or marketing, production training. Production people go for a lot of things like quality, Six Sigma, etc. So then you can look at their they're functioning in their roles in a very short span of time. So you can't, I mean, it's not like, okay, fine, one size fits all, everything is this. You have to differentiate. Okay. All right. Guys, I think, so there is something interesting which I had to share, but this I will share it. I don't want to rush it. So I will share this in the next session right at the beginning with some other metric, because from the next session, we are going to really get deep down into the statistical models. Okay. And so just read up. I'm going to send this PPT also. Look through all the metrics so that, you have a good understanding of them. All right. Okay, guys. I hope you will go through the PPT, because all the metrics you just have to go through, and they're very familiar. And then we can actually play with a lot of data and save the time. Okay.